Hello, and thank you for joining us for this overview and demonstration of ESI's Evolution series.
And now the 11 dedicated feature keys. Let's first start with the message waiting key. We'll explain more later with the programming section of this video. The voicemail key is depressed to access voicemails, the headset key to turn your headset on and off, your redial key to redial your last number, your speaker key to turn your speaker on and off, transfer, I hope is self-explanatory, your contacts key allows access to ESI's first LDAP-enabled system, as well as other phone directories. The hold key provides exclusive hold. Different than our previous phones, the conference key initiates a conference. Every phone is capable of a three-party conference. However, there is a conference bridge in the system to allow conferences for additional parties. The up and down volume key is located here, and your mute key is here. Over here we have the navigation keys that allow you to navigate through the features on the phone. Let's take a look at the LCD screen on the ePhone 4X. At the top left-hand corner is username and number. When your phone is in the idle state, the home screen shows date, time, missed calls, and new voicemail message count. The left and right side of the center screen is a list of programmable feature or DSS keys. There are 9 keys per page, 4 pages, for a total of 36 programmable keys. Use the jump key to switch between the 4 DSS pages. The keys on the bottom row are soft keys that change as the user interacts with the phone. Receiving and initiating calls on the ePhone 4X is easy and intuitive. Here we have an incoming call. The LCD screen shows caller ID name and number if provided by the carrier. Notice how the soft keys have changed, allowing the user to reject to voicemail or direct to another user. As we answer the call, again, the soft keys have changed to allow the functions available to the user. Let's initiate a call. There's no longer the need to dial a trunk group access number. As we dial the number, notice that the phone has memory, showing previously dialed or received numbers. Simply hit the dial number to connect to your party. Now, let's take a look at some of the most commonly used features. Here we have customized the phone with commonly used features. The record key is used for one-touch record. The listen key is used for extension monitoring. Whisper and barge are used for coaching. Intercom is used for hands-free intercom. The pickup key is used for picking up a ringing extension. And the call park key is used to park a call. Finally, let's look how easy it is to program a speed dial DSS key on your ePhone 4X. Simply hold down the button, dial the extension or external party number, use the navigation key to program the number and the name, hit save, and you're done. Let's now take a look at the ESI ePhone 3. Key to note is that the ePhone 3 and the ePhone 4X function exactly the same. So let's highlight the physical attributes of the ePhone 3. One slight difference between the ePhone 3 and the ePhone 4X is the absence of a hard contacts button as one of the dedicated function keys. Your contacts can be programmed into one of your soft keys. From the phone perspective, the ESI ePhone 3 utilizes 28 programmable LED keys. It is a gigabit phone utilizing HD voice technology. It has a full duplex speakerphone and supports EHS just like the 4X. One of the most highly requested features demanded by today's buyer is mobility. The eMobile client requires no additional license. It is available for every user on the eSIP system. The eMobile client is programmed with the same extension number as your desk set. As a VoIP mobile client coordinated with the eSIP series server, eMobile makes your mobile phone an office extension, links you and your colleagues and customers anywhere at any time. Make and receive calls through a corporate phone network and enhance your efficiency with consistent in-office experiences. Some of the standard features available on the eMobile client include call display, speakerphone and mute, hold and resume, call waiting, do not disturb, call history, access to directories, audio call conference, one-touch recording, and call transfer. Now, let's log in to the eMobile client. Once downloaded from your App Store, and yes, the application is iOS and Android compatible, simply type in your extension number and password, or you can utilize the QR code at the top right corner of the app. Then, by logging into your MIUI, the Me user interface, which will be discussed later on in this video, you can scan the QR code and the system will automatically log you in. Once logged in, your opening screen will show dial pad and call history. The red indicated names and numbers indicate a missed call, while the others indicate a completed call. On the left-hand side, you can see if it's incoming or outgoing. All this information available on the main screen. Oh, one more thing about call history. It is populated with calls from all of your devices, including your desktop as well as your eMobile client. Now, let's talk about contacts. Depressing the contacts widget at the bottom left brings up this screen. You'll notice on the top of the screen you have extensions and contacts. Under extensions, you can see the status of coworkers, whether they are available, on the phone, or offline. A little more about contacts. To populate your contacts when initially launching the eMobile app, the app will prompt the user to import contacts from the user's smartphone. Now let's talk about conferencing. Managing conferences from your eMobile client is, well, it's easy. First, pick your contacts. As you can see, the user has access to a conference bridge, so it can allow me to add multiple parties to the conference. Simply pick your contacts, and start your conference by hitting the Start Conference button. We are now engaged in a three-way conference. If I wanted to add more parties, I could just hit the plus sign and pick more contacts. Simple and easy. Let's quickly review the widgets that we've seen. We have contacts on the left, we have a dial pad, we have conferences, and finally let's take a look at the Me widget. The Me widget provides all unread or unheard voicemails as well as all voicemails in total. So, first we're looking at unread or unheard voicemails. If we depress the down key, we will download the voicemail and listen to it. And then we can, of course, deal with that voicemail appropriately. Now let's move to all voicemails. This is all unheard and all saved voicemails. I can now hit the down key and do the same thing as I did with unheard voicemails. The next thing I can look at is recordings. This will have all of the recordings that I've accessed through my eMobile client. Again, hit the down button, listen to the recording, and deal with it appropriately. Finally, let's talk about settings. I now have the options to customize my application. My ring strategy will allow me to, let's take a look, ring simultaneously, ring the extension only, ring the eMobile client only, the extension first, or the eMobile client first, customizing the application to the user's desire. I can also call forward my phone, my desk phone and eMobile client from here, and at call waiting, or put my phones, both my desk phone and eMobile client, in Do Not Disturb.
All right, now what we're going to cover is day-to-day call functionality. So one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in an outside call into our phone. Here you can see we can either pick up the handset or press the answer to pick up on speakerphone. Once I have the caller on the line, I want to put them on hold. I need to look up a record for them. You'll note that I have my hold key set as one of my speed dials for my soft key. I also still have the hold key set as a hard-coded key on the phone. Simply tap the hold key and the individual is on hold. If I want to retrieve them, I can either hit resume or line 1. Either way, I get the call back live. Now that I have Ron back on the phone, I want to transfer him over to DAC. Like we've always had with the ESI comm servers and IP900s, we have a one-touch attended transfer. Simply tap the button for DAC, the phone will ring, and DAC will pick up. I can now ask if he wants to speak with Ron, and if he does, I simply hang up the phone, and the call has been transferred. Occasionally, from time to time, you don't want to put the person on an exclusive hold, which is what we just showed you. Sometimes you want to put them on a universal hold. For that, we utilize the call park functionality. Here, we have a call park button. If we simply tap the call park button,
1.
it places the call on the first available call queue or park queue on the system. If you choose to have the system set up to where you can see all the different park orbits, you can have a BLF presence set up for all the different park queues. And now I can see that that call is holding on park 1, and any other handset can hit park 1 on their phone and actually answer the call. And if somebody else does that, then you'll notice that now the call queue is cleared. So everybody has a situation where you're already on a phone call and a second call comes in. Now, what we want to show you is how to handle that. So currently I'm talking on line 1 to Ron, and then on line 2 rings in Jalen Smith. Well, I can simply tap line 2 by telling Ron to hold on please, and now I'm talking to Jalen Smith. You'll notice that line 1 where Ron is now blinking yellow, letting you know that he's still on hold. If I want to flip back over to Ron, I simply tap the yellow button once, and it will give me some options that we'll go through here in a second, but then tap it again, and now I'm again speaking with Ron. And I can see line 2 is blinking yellow, letting me know that Jalen is on hold. So, if Ron and I are having a long conversation, and I've noticed that Jalen is still holding, I can ask Ron again, Ron, please hold, and I can switch over to Jalen. Here, with the multiple options, I can either pick up the call by resuming, or I can transfer him to somebody else if I'm not going to be available for quite some time. So if I want to transfer him over to, say, DAC, I simply hit DAC, and then I can transfer it. It's a blind transfer directly to DAC, and now I can resume my call with Ron. Next, we want to show when you need to bring in a third party for a 3-party quick conference. We already have Ron on the line. You can see our conference button is set up as one of our soft keys. We also have the conference button set up as a hard-coded key as well. Simply tap our conference button. It will ask us who we want to conference into. We'll select DAC. DAC picks up. I can visit with DAC, ask him if he wants to join the conference. If he says sure, simply hit my conference button, and now we're all joined together. Now, if at any point during our conference call, I need to split this out and have a sidebar conversation with one or the individual people, I can simply hit my split button. And now, currently I'm talking to DAC, but if I needed to, I could take Ron off of hold and visit with him, and now DAC is on hold. And then, if I want to conference us back in again, simply hit conference, and now we're all three together again. Okay, from time to time you'll get a call in that you need to transfer out to an external number, but you want to do a supervised transfer to that person to make sure, one, that they're there, and two, they're capable of taking the call at that time. So if you want to do that, simply hit your transfer button. If you have their button saved or their speed dial saved, you can go ahead and select it, hit dial, and now we will connect to that outside party. Once they answer the call, I can then talk to them and ask them, do you want to speak with Ron? If they say yes, I simply hit transfer, and now the two parties are connected and I'm no longer involved. And of course, from time to time, you find yourself needing to record a call. Anytime you're on a phone call, we do have a one-touch call record button set up that we showed you earlier. We can simply reach over, tap the record button, and now we're recording it. So anything the outside party says will be permanently recorded, and we'll show you how you can download that in the MIUI here soon. Hey Ron, how are you?
Billy, I'm doing great. You know, you're right. This eSIP solution is fantastic. Thank you so much for contacting me.
Glad you like it, Ron. Thanks. Have a good one. And as just a reminder, all the call processing and call features we just showed you on the E4X work the exact same way on the ePhone 3. Next, we're going to discuss call control on the eMobile app. So I will go to my dial pad, select the phone number I want to call, place the outbound call. So currently I'm ringing Ron's cell phone. As soon as Ron picks up, you'll notice I have now full access to all of the features. I can mute the call so that Ron no longer hears what I'm saying. I have a dial pad in case I hit some form of an auto attendant and I need to dial out of it. I have my speakerphone button in case I want to go on speaker or hands-free. Call history. Hold in case I want to put Ron on hold, in which he now hears music on hold. And then I can retrieve him by tapping it again. My contacts button. I can record the call by simply tapping the record button. And then anytime while it's highlighted, the call is still recording. And if I simply tap it again and unhighlight it, it's no longer recording. But most importantly, if I want to transfer this call back to somebody at the office, I can simply hit transfer, and then my contacts see that DAC is available. It'll place the call. I do a supervised transfer with DAC, making sure he still wants to talk to Ron. And when he says yes, simply hit my transfer button, and the transfer is complete.
Now we're going to take a look at the MIUI. The MIUI, or Me User Interface, provides the user with visibility to voicemails, recordings, and desktop settings. Let's log in. Now we're into the MIUI. Everyone is able to use this as their personal dashboard as you log in. Click on the Me. It opens it up. Now here's where you're going to put in your user information. This is a headshot that you would actually load so that this shows up in your system directory so that everyone can see who they're communicating with. The caller ID name is exactly what you put in there. The email is used for your voicemail to email, so this is where you would enter your email address. Mobile number, if you're actually going to use your mobile as a twinning device, you'll enter your mobile number here. Prompt language is defaulted in English, so you don't have to choose a different language, although you can. Under your voicemail, this is where you can actually enable voicemail or disable voicemail. By default, it's enabled. There are times maybe a person does not want to have it go to voicemail. Simply uncheck this and voicemail is disabled. If you're going to use the voicemail to email, you have to enable this. It will then go to the email that you associate with your extension. Over here you have the voicemail access PIN. By default, it's your extension number. You can change that at any time to make that a more difficult password. Under your eMobile ring strategy, we showed you this earlier when you're using the mobile client. This allows you to actually choose ring extension only, mobile extension only, extension first, mobile first. Call forwarding. This gives you the ability to do a call forward always If you do that, it goes to your voicemail. However, you do have the latitude to be able to send it for a no answer to a different location. You can also use that same strategy when your phone is busy. You can send it to a different location. Your mobile extension, you've enabled it. This allows you to actually use your mobile extension with your desktop extension. Other settings. This is used to determine how long your phone rings before it goes to your voicemail. Now we'll go over the blacklist, whitelist. How many times have you wanted to block that annoying call from a telemarketer coming to your desk? Well, now you have that power. Simply add the person's phone number in here and voila, they're blocked. They won't get through to you. They can still get through to the phone system, so they can call your auto attendant. They can actually call colleagues that you work with. They just won't get through to your voicemail anymore. Now we'll move on to CDR one-touch recording. This allows you to see the call records that have actually come to your telephone or been dialed from your telephone. What you can see from these records here is there are a number of calls that are simply CDR records. You've made a call, received a call. However, this call right here actually shows up as a recording. We showed you earlier how you could record from the phone and also from your eMobile client. Simply click on the play button. You then have the ability to play it over your speakers on your computer, or you can have it play through your extension, your choice. Up here, your date range. This allows you to search by a specific date. You can actually search by a specific phone number. You can search by a number that you called. Talk duration. Maybe you only want to see the conversations that lasted longer than 60 seconds. That's totally searchable. Include recorded files. This would allow you to see all of the calls that you recorded with your one-touch recording. Number fuzzy search. Where this is good for is if you actually only remember a few digits of the phone number. You've got hundreds of call records. You remember the number had 654 in it. All you've got to do is put 654, include fuzzy search. That number would have showed up. Next, we'll cover the voicemail. This is your visual voicemail. Right now we've got one voicemail that's located in this box. However, if you had 20, 30, 100, 200, all of these would show up. This allows you to play it through your computer. We don't have speakers hooked up, or else you would have heard that. And you can see when you received it, how long the voicemail is, and now you're able to save it as unread, save it as read, delete. This will allow you to actually save it to your desktop, then it can be shared with your colleagues.